The moon landings, beyond Apollo 11. When we think of the moon landings, the iconic image of Apollo 11 often comes to mind, with Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin planting the American flag on July 20, 1969. However, this was not the first time humans had set foot on the lunar surface. In fact, Apollo 11 was the sixth mission to land astronauts on the moon, following a series of earlier missions that paved the way for their historic achievement. The journey to the moon began with the Apollo program, which consisted of 9 crewed missions between 1968 and 1972. Apollo 8 made history in December 1968 as the first crewed mission to orbit the moon, providing crucial data and images that would inform future landings. The crew, including Frank Borman, James Lovell, and William Anders, captured breathtaking photographs of Earth rising over the lunar horizon, a moment that resonated deeply with people back home. Following Apollo 8, Apollo 10 served as a dress rehearsal for the landing. In May 1969, astronauts Thomas Stafford, John Young, and Eugene Cernan flew to the moon and descended to within just 8 miles of the surface before returning to Earth. This mission tested all aspects of landing without actually touching down. Then came Apollo 11. As Neil Armstrong took his historic first step onto the lunar surface, he famously declared, "That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind." Buzz Aldrin joined him shortly after, and together they spent about 2.5 hours exploring the lunar landscape while collecting samples and conducting experiments. But Apollo 11 was not alone in its lunar endeavors. Following it were Apollo 12 through Apollo 17, each contributing to our understanding of the moon. Apollo 12 landed in November 1969 and made a precise landing near the earlier Surveyor 3 spacecraft. The astronauts retrieved parts from Surveyor 3 for analysis back on Earth. Apollo 14 followed in February 1971 and included astronaut Alan Shepard famously hitting 2 golf balls on the lunar surface. Apollo 15 introduced the use of a lunar rover, allowing astronauts David Scott and James Irwin to explore further from their landing site. Apollo 16 continued this trend in April 1972, with John Young and Charles Duke conducting extensive geological surveys. The final mission of the program, Apollo 17 in December 1972, marked a significant milestone as it was both the last crewed mission to land on the moon and featured the first scientist astronaut to walk on its surface, geologist Harrison Schmitt. Over these missions, a total of 12 astronauts walked on the moon, collecting invaluable data that has shaped our understanding of lunar geology. As we look forward to future lunar missions under NASA's Artemis program, which aims to return humans to the moon by landing the first woman and person of color there by 2025 or beyond, it's fascinating to reflect on how far we've come since those early days of space exploration. The legacy of those who ventured into space continues to inspire new generations as humanity prepares for its next giant leap into deeper space exploration. What other mysteries about our celestial neighbor await discovery? The journey is far from over.